Okay, ready? I'm going to teach you how to make a digital collage. Super exciting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click File. I'm going to click File, New, and I'm going to do 700 by 700 pixels. So we're going to change it from inches to pixels. I want it to be 700. Okay, and then I'm going to click OK. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So this is what my canvas looks like. All right, and then I'm going to click File. I'm going to click Open. And here's all my saved images. And these are images that I found on Google through, like, these images can be reused and modified legally. So I'm going to go ahead and click this image. I'm going to open this one. I'm going to zoom in so we can see them. I'm going to come here to my background and I'm going to double click it. And I'm going to hit OK, and that unlocks the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it, so Command C. And I'm going to go to my piece and I'm going to Command V after I unlock my background. So I'm going to copy him and I'm going to paste him on here. It's not working. See, oh, select, copy, and paste him. Ta-da! So he's the beginning of our piece, and you can move him around by touching these arrows. And I've already done File, Open, and gotten all my other images, and I've already kind of edited them. So I'm going to show you how to edit the first image. So I'm going to Command plus just so I can zoom in more if I want to. I'm going to double click the background so I unlock it, hit OK. I'm going to hit this is my quick selection tool. It looks like a little lasso with a paintbrush. These are the different options that you can use while using the quick selection tool. I'm going to have the plus, and I'm going to click these sections. And I'm just clicking the background because I don't want the background. So I'm going to click all of these. Once those are all clicked, I'm going to hit delete, and then that's gone. Hit the arrow. If you don't like these lines here, you can do Command D, and that deselects your image. I've already done this image. I've done this image. I've done the rows. And this one I'll show you how to do since it's a little tricky. So quick selection tool, plus. I'm just going to go around and take off. If I take off something, like let's say I accidentally take off Jesus's forehead, I can Command C, but see this doesn't, Command Z only goes back one step. So I can come over here, do the minus quick selection, and I can make sure Jesus has his forehead back. Then I go back to the plus. I keep getting the rest of this background. And then I'm going to hit delete after I unlock my background. So I'm going to do delete, and then he doesn't have any more background. I'm going to Command D, so I just deselect him. This one I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to unlock it. I'm going to go ahead and use my quick selection tool. And I'm going to select the background as if I were to delete it, but I'm not going to delete it. So I'm going to go around, get the background, all the stuff I don't want, and then I'm going to hit delete and click OK. and it'll make this all fill in. Let's say I don't want that. So it'll fill in that entire thing with that image instead. Now I can double click the background, hit OK, and it'll unlock it, and then I'll Command D just so I deselect it. So original image. This I can go ahead and, I don't need that one since he's already a part of this. If you have a little like rectangle here and you don't want it, again, you can just do Command D to deselect. From here, I'm going to take all of my images and I'm going to Command C. I'm going to copy and then I'm going to paste them here. So Command V. No, so Command Z if that's not what you want. So this layer, go ahead and take your rectangle marquee tool and box in the lotus, and then you can do Command C. And then you'll come over to this and you'll do Command V. This is super big, so what you can do to make it smaller is you'll hit Edit, Transform, Scale. And see, it gives you all your little squares. What I always do whenever I change the shape or the scale of a picture is I hold down my Shift button, and that makes sure it doesn't distort it. If I don't hit it, then I can distort it in any kind of way. Even if I'm in the middle of distorting it, I can hit that Shift button and it'll go back. So I'm going to go ahead and make this lotus smaller, just for now. And then I'm going to hit Return so it stays there. So I've done that lotus. I'm going to do the same for the white lily. Use my marquee tool just to select. I'm going to deselect that since it didn't select the whole thing. Select the whole lily, Command C, and I'm going to go back to my piece, and I'm going to Command V. I'm going to drag it over here just to keep it out of the way until then. So I've done my lotus, white lily. Now I'm going to do, this is a gateway of a stupa. And this right here, these are magical creatures and mythical creatures in Buddhism. And this is the Bodhi tree where the Buddha found enlightenment. So I'm going to go ahead, use my marquee tool, and select my gate. Hit Command C, go back to my original piece, Command V. This one I want to scale down, so I'm going to do Edit, Transform, Scale. And once again hit Shift and drag it down to be smaller for now. Then remember to hit Enter. So I've done that. Now I'm going to do my rows. I've just already edited these for the sake of time. Command C, Command V. We can edit, transform, scale, hit Shift, Enter. So we've done lotus, white lily, Bodhi tree, rose. We'll do our Jesus now. We'll use the marquee tool to select all of Jesus. We'll do Command C. We'll go back to our original piece, Command V. I always transform mine and scale them down just so they'll fit into the piece while I'm editing it. And I'll hit Enter. And then the tree of life, I'm going to use my marquee tool. I'm going to select the whole thing. And the reason I've repeated this pattern is just so it'll act as a wallpaper. So Command C, go back to this, Command V, and I'll go ahead and hit enter there. So now we have all of our images and imagery that we're going to use. We have our Buddha, our tree of life, lotus lily, our stupa gate, our Jesus, and our rose. So this is our tree of life, lotus lily, Buddha, rose, Jesus, and stupa gate. So for now, since this is a wallpaper, I'm going to drag layer 7. Oops. I'm going to drag it all the way to the bottom because I want it to be behind everything. Then I'm going to take my enter. I'm going to hit layer 4 because that's where my stupa gate is. I'm going to edit this, go back to transform, go back to scale. I want it to take up most of the room. I want it to go from the left side to the right side. I'll hit return. I want to fill up that much space. So once I do that, I'm going to want to go ahead and right click layer 4. So click on layer 4, right click, and I'm going to want to duplicate that layer. And all I have to do is drag up, and there's that layer. And part of this assignment is getting used to learning the composition of different kinds of art and being able to play around digitally with composition because it's much more easier than, let's say, you do a painting, then it's permanent on there. So I'm going to duplicate it one more time. And it's going to go all the way up here. I'm going to go ahead and drag these to where they're just underneath the tree of life wallpaper that we made. So here's everything else. So they're going to go all the way underneath. One more layer. There we go. So now we have our background and our midground. Oops. The next thing I'm going to do is work on our Buddha over here. I'm going to go ahead, right click, duplicate layer, drag him down, and I'm going to line him up perfectly with the top one. I'm going to go to edit, transform, and instead of scale, we're going to flip it vertically. That way he mirrors him. Okay, I'm going to move around some of these so that we can edit the rest of it. I'm going to put these to the side for now. In fact, we don't need the rose till much later. Going to move my Jesus. And what I want to do is kind of get some of this stuff aligned so you can see these pink lines. They tell you what's the middle. And I kind of want to get everything in the middle because a lot of the things that I'm focusing on for this piece is symmetry because it gives it a sense of organization even though there's a ton of disorganized and busy images happening. I'm gonna do that. Gonna do my other Buddha. And I can probably bring him up just a little more. But I want them to be touching exactly. And the reason I picked this piece is because it didn't have a bottom frame. It was just perfectly touching. So I thought that would be a good way for it to mirror each other. After that, I'm gonna work on my lotus. My lotus has a straight line here and 2 straight lines here, so I try to use that to my advantage while I'm working on a piece. I'm going to go ahead and edit, transform,